Hey, everybody, welcome on back. And so you got to try this podcast with me, Large, and also with Ian behind the ones and twos, making sure we don't look like it's shot on a potato. We have a very special guest today. I don't know if he gets sick of having this, but it's Kevin from The Office, right? And his name is Brian Baumgartner. He's done a bunch of stuff here at Barstool off and on. He's got a new golf podcast with Kenny Mayne, Cooper. I heard him call him Cupper. But I don't know if it is. But anyway, with Cooper Manning, and it's called We Need a Fourth. Guy is just a charming dude, and I'm sure he likes to talk about food. So when he came up on the list, I was like, yeah, I'll grab him. So we got Brian Baumgartner coming in just a couple of seconds. I had mentioned that Ian's behind the ones and twos. I wrote this down, Ian. My mom listens every week.
So does mine.
Does she really? That Ken Jack is a very nice boy. Like, I got something like that for him. Thought it was very sweet that he had cooked for us. So I shout out to Ken Jack for coming in and doing that. First time somebody cooked for us, and I'm skeptical when people do that, but that was delicious.
K-Dar Dar is unbelievable.
Jesus, you remembered what the hell it was. I like that.
It was so good.
Yeah,
How could I
so
forget?
shout out to it. But one of the things that I'm mentioning my mom for, and shout out, Mom, love you to death. My mom says, it does a very good job, your sidekick. Oh, Ian, she called you a sidekick, and she just lost your name for a second, and she's like, Ian, I don't mind that. And I would never say that. And I love the fact that my mom thinks that I'm the big boss man here. So I got like a sidekick. So the Robin to my Batman is Ian. So if I'm going to refer to you at all, I'm not going to say that you're the guy who takes care of all of the social, of all of the editing, most of the filming, because we got to give St. Anne a shout out where credit is due. So producing, editing, social, all that stuff. On top of all that, that's my sidekick over there, Ian. Better than be my side piece, I think. How do you feel about sidekick?
I think it's fair and accurate.
No, it's not.
I hate when you start the show, you got to try this starring Ian, because it's not.
Okay, but I mean, does this thing get done? So for people who don't know how...
Yeah, but does it get done with my food
no, it does
senses?
Not. It does not.
If I was just telling people to go where to eat?
Does this happen if you send me so many texts during the day to retweet stuff, which I inevitably do wrong still, then we don't have any kind of social media presence, right? We don't have all that stuff. So I believe that it should be equal billing. But when my mom said that you were my sidekick, it made my heart smile. We're going to talk about parents just for a second, because I was in Tuscaloosa again for the final parents weekend. My son is graduating in May, or he better. So we were down there for Alabama versus Oklahoma. Alabama, maybe or maybe not, obviously had lost, but we had an absolute ball. How do you feel about parents being in college bars? Because my son is 21, all his friends are 21. He's in his senior year. There's a couple of bars on the campus of Tuscaloosa. One of them is a restaurant that I happened to did a review of, Moe's, which I know is a chain, but the one in T-Town has always been very good to me, and I love the food there. But the bar that I hang out with probably the most is this place called Innisfree. So we're there with another couple, Annie and I, with another couple, Sean and Sunday. The wife's name is Sunday. Sometimes I call her Saturday because I'm a moron. And Annie and I love Sean and Sunday. And then Cade, their son, is very close friends with my boy Mick. So we tend to kind of gravitate towards each other, and we inevitably wind up in bars and inevitably just buying shots and whatnot for a bunch of kids that we barely know. How do you feel about that, Ian? Is that like one of those cringy things when you were in college, since you were just recently in college, to see people on Parents Weekend kind of out at the bars with the kids?
No, it's because of what you just said. It's Parents Weekend.
It is, but I've been there without it being Parents Weekend too, where I've also hit the bars.
So when it's not Parents Weekend and you see a parent out, it's like, why is so-and-so's dad here?
Okay, yeah, that's probably it. I get a little bit of a pass sometimes because I'm doing content.
You definitely get a pass because you're like what do you say? Is R-list celebrity or something?
Yeah, a Q-list celebrity. But I will say that looking around the bar, and again, Innisfree is a great college bar. And Trip and Chris, a bunch of the guys there, that previous owners and present owners, are also very, very nice to us whenever we go down there. And I have a fucking ball just people watching. I do. I have a ball. It's not creepy and stuff, even though every girl at the University of Alabama is beautiful. They don't need to put it on the brochure, but I went to Notre Dame in the late 80s, early 90s. a lot different. You know what I mean? So I go down there for very good barbecue, and I've covered a bunch of restaurants in and around there, but I also kind of like just hanging out at the bar with my son, with another couple of parents, and just seeing these kids operate in the wild. So I don't know if you guys find it cringy or whatever, but if you see me in a college bar, just know that I'm having the fucking time of my life. One other thing that I'm going to touch on, we're going to have Brian in a couple of minutes, is I tried a chain for the first time that I've never tried before while I was in Alabama. Have you been to Texas Roadhouse?
I have.
What do you think of Texas Roadhouse? I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to give you my honest review.
I've been once.
Okay.
It was for my freshman year tight end position group dinner.
Okay.
We all went to like restaurants, and one night it was Roadhouse.
Uh-huh.
I was blown away by how good it was.
Right.
Of course, the bread, the maple butter rolls, or whatever.
Yeah, like a cinnamon butter, right?
Whatever that is, it just keep bringing those, and the steak was fine. It was good.
I will tell you, I've been to Longhorn Steakhouse, which is kind of one of those fast casual steak chains. I've been to Outback, and now I've been to Texas Roadhouse. I think those are the three comps. Definitely. I can't think of another one because Sizzler is like below it. I used to go to Sizzler as a kid. But those are the three comps. I will tell you right now, Texas Roadhouse is the best of those three. I'm not saying that I would go to Texas Roadhouse a ton, but my wife and I were just eating like, road food and stuff like that, and trying to get a reservation anywhere on a football weekend, even on the Sunday night afterwards, where most people leave Sunday afternoon, still kind of tough. We went to Texas Roadhouse. I was expecting very, very little, and they had outperformed. Some of the stuff there was inedible, honestly, like because I'm a fucking idiot. I wasn't a fan of that cinnamon butter. I don't need like a sweet butter with it. And I love combos of sweet and savory. Those rolls came out white hot. Like you couldn't even handle them, and they were delicious. My wife had a steak, and it was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. So for all those people who think that I'm a little hoity-toity, if that's a word that people still use, I can get in the mud. I can get in the mud with you in Texas Roadhouse. It was packed to the rafters, and they were extremely efficient. The girl that was helping us out was very accommodating. And by the way, people leave their tables at Texas Roadhouse, and it looks like the floor of a fucking ER. Tighten up, please. This is me asking you, whether you're going to Texas Roadhouse or per se, tighten up. Stop leaving your fucking tables like the end of a magic show. It's disturbing what we've turned into as a fucking society, but I'm going to concentrate on the positives. I had like a chicken fried steak. It was pretty good. My wife had like a New York strip. It was pretty good. My son had something that was relatively inedible, I believe. They do a blooming onion, whatever their version of it, and the sauce that you dip the onion petals in, I thought was very good. They do a brownie skillet at the end, which I think standalone was like 3,000 calories. Maybe not. I don't give a fuck. My kids dove into it with both feet. So as much as you hear me saying, oh, I love to go to these fine dining and all that kind of stuff, or these mom and pop places, which I do, I absolutely love, also know that I can get down with one of these fast casual chains. And they're not a sponsor or anything. So Texas Roadhouse, I actually just wrote it down in my notes that it was pleasantly surprising. All right, let's move on. One other thing that I had seen is people had sent in to me. We did something with Ken Jack where I had said how Sweet Baby Ray's is actually a white guy, and it pissed some people off for some reason. Maybe they just felt jilted because they just assumed that it was like an older black gentleman who was a pit master. Either way, a couple of people had sent in to me. It was the same story with Aunt Jemima. So I'm going to tell you about that really quick right now. If you guys think that Aunt Jemima was like a syrup that was developed by an old school black woman in the kitchen somewhere in the South, you're absolutely wrong. Aunt Jemima was developed in 1888, a little food history, by a guy named Christopher Ludwig Rutt. That ain't black, right? And he was in Milwaukee. And so I don't know if that blows the roof off it, because obviously there's been a rebranding, but this guy, Christopher Ludwig Rutt, he had made this product, this great syrup for people, very easily accessible. And you're nodding your head because you're at Aunt Jemima. You're one of those bottled syrup type guys as opposed to that pure maple shit.
I'll follow it to whatever name they change
Pearl
to.
Mining Company or some shit like
Pearl
that.
Milling, yeah.
Yeah. So Aunt Jemima was modeled after and has been a famous example of that mammy archetype of the southern United States. So Nancy Green was the original model, actress, maybe you could call her, who portrayed the Aunt Jemima character at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. And she was also one of the first Black corporate models in the United States. So it was breaking through a ceiling there for a while. And it worked. Aunt Jemima became one of the longest running logos in the history of American advertising. But due to that mammy stereotype that I had mentioned and historical ties to the Jim Crow era, Quaker Oats announced in June 2020 that the Aunt Jemima brand would be discontinued to make progress towards racial equality. So Aunt Jemima is going to be something that I'll never be able to talk about because the next generation of kids will never know that it existed as that, handsome, welcoming, warm Black woman that I grew up looking at on the syrup bottle. All right. So I think that's enough. I think we're going to get to Kevin, if that's okay. So we're about to get into Kevin Baumgartner right now. But before we do, just a second to talk about Tony Chachere's seasoning. Less salt, more garlic, a clean hit of heat. It's a new blend based in the Tony's tradition. You use it in place of salt and pepper. It comes from Tony Chachere's, but has more attitude, and it's not replacing Tony's. You're going to see me use this in a couple of sandwiches of the month, not because I have to, but because I want to. I love these guys. I've always used the traditional Tony Chachere's. I've never used this Cajun kick, so I'm going to try to do it with just about everything. Travi had run, I'd given him one of these canisters, and both him and Bobby were like, I put this on eggs every morning. So Tony Chachere's has been a go-to in a lot of people's pantries for a long time, and now they have this Cajun Kick seasoning, and I'm glad they did. So meet the all-new Cajun Kick seasoning, built for the people who don't do mild. Can you kick it? Check it out and get some today. And with that, let's go to Kevin Baumgartner. All right, so as promised, we're back, and we're with Brian Baumgartner. I know you get sick of being called Kevin from The Office. I'm not going to do that, but I will tell you right off the jump.
I feel like you just did.
I did.
Yeah.
Four Christmases. Four Christmases, as we're coming into the holiday season, Four Christmases is one of my favorite fucking Christmas movies that's ever been made.
It's a great movie.
It's a staple, and I don't think Die Hard gets mentioned. Somebody just made an argument to me that Rambo is a Christmas movie.
Rambo?
Yeah.
What happens in Rambo?
When he first goes into the police department, there's a bunch of small Christmas trees around. Apparently, he decided to shoot up that town in the holiday season. So Rambo may or may not be a Christmas movie.
I haven't seen Rambo since I was going to say since like 95 or something.
I
don't remember the mini Christmas trees.
It holds up.
It does.
Rambo, I have kids. I have 3 kids, and I sometimes put movies in front of them, and they just simply do not hold up. Rambo still gets the job done. Okay. By the way, you got to try this. I'm just going to talk about Rambo for the rest of the goddamn thing because I'm in love with it. Before we get going, we need a fourth. So it's you. It's one of my favorite guys ever from ESPN in Kenny Mayne.
Yes.
And then we call him Cupper.
So it's very hard for me, and he still laughs at me. It's if you think cook, and then with a P, Cupper. Okay.
It
helps if you say it with a Southern accent.
Cupper Manning.
Clear. I mean, they are like New Orleans.
Right.
Elite. Yes. Who is by far one of the best Manning. There's no question. And this is not disrespecting either Eli or Peyton.
Well, I'll tell you what, it kind of is. You already got me on that with the Kevin thing.
But he's awesome.
How big
incredible.
Is he?
He's tall.
Because I was in one of your favorite places, Del Frisco's, the steakhouse, and a little flex there.
Wow.
And I run into both the Manning brothers, paid cash, and they walk by me. They're massive. Like, I'm large. I'm 6'5".
Which ones did you run it?
Just Peyton and Eli.
Okay.
The two lesser ones.
Were they wrestling?
No, they were there with some sort of high-powered agent cutting some $1 million deal. And they walked by me, and I was like, these dudes are big dudes. Yeah. But I had never met Cupper. I never met him, so I didn't know. Is he as big as the other guys?
He's tall.
Okay.
I don't think of him as big, like broad a shoulder, maybe that would upset him. I don't know. But yes, he's
so
so
it's
tall.
more of a feminine build.
No, that's not what I said.
My words, not yours.
That's your words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can talk about food with anybody, and I have a good time doing it. And from what I've listened to, you're that way with golf.
Yes.
You bring people in who just want to shoot the shit and have a good time. There's not a lot of technicals going on there.
No.
I am going to get into a technical because there is a putting stroke with one of your hosts that is absolutely disgusting.
It is not.
Yeah,
It's disgusting and illegal.
It
by
is.
the way.
Yeah, because he's doing this like little pendulum. Have you ever seen Kenny Mayne putt?
Yeah.
I think he's got an injury or something like that.
He does have an injury. It's me and the two injured guys.
Yes, exactly.
He calls it Sam Snead, and he claims that the ball is just inside, or maybe it just covers up his small toe on his right foot. But you cannot straddle the ball.
Yes,
As they
exactly.
they say. So you have to be to the side of it. He is not.
He's not.
He's not.
Yeah.
No, but
He's a huge fraud.
but it's really entertaining.
Right. And I'll
watch.
tell you what, it's a perfect group of guys to get together and shoot the shit on a golf course. And I think it's probably one of the biggest compliments you can give somebody. I would like to be the fourth in that foursome if I was playing golf. And I'm not a serious golfer at all, but I think listening to you guys, I'm hoping that when people listen to this podcast, whether it be this episode or not, that's the guy I want to sit down to a meal with.
Yeah.
And then you guys successfully make it that you're the guys that I want to be in a cart with.
I love that.
Which is the way to go. Talk to me about some of the biggest guys you've had on there, because I saw that you had my Lord and Savior Bobby Flay, but who else?
We had your Lord and Savior Bobby Flay. Jason Bateman, incredible.
Love Jason Bateman.
Eli. We had Eli.
Who cares?
You don't care.
him.
You don't care anymore. Lot of stand-up comedians. Sebastian Maniscalco has not aired yet, but we have a lot in the can here. Eric Stone Street.
I love him too.
Max Homa. And coming soon, if you're listening to this now, Keegan Bradley. Breaking news. Breaking news. Keegan Bradley will be on the podcast Thanksgiving week. Ho, ho, ho. To talk about the Ryder Cup and to talk about the new iteration of the Skins game that he's doing with Shane Lowry and Tommy Fleetwood and Xander. So it's going to be I think they're going to kind of do a redo rematch of the Ryder Cup, put the Europeans against the Americans.
That's incredible. Talk to me about you on a golf course. We've only had one quote unquote golfer on so far, and it was Barstool Beef. Rest in peace. One of the nicest fellas in the history of fellas, right? Barstool Beef is the definition of gentleman, and he's missed every day. But we were kind of talking to Beef about eating on the golf course. He's a big guy. I'm a big guy. He really does it. Or excuse me, he really didn't. Geez, that's tough to say. I apologize. And neither do I. I find I'm a big drinker, so I drink like crazy on a golf course, but I don't eat. Do you eat on a golf course?
Honestly, rarely not. And I will judge you. Okay. And hopefully it's not a lot of your crowd does this, but I typically pass the turn and I have a purple G2 Gatorade. That keeps me going through the second nine. But what I judge is guy goes up to the window of the halfway house and says, "What's your soup today?" I'm like, hot soup on the golf course has got to be literally the worst. I mean, the worst thing I could. It is the farthest. Like you can have some clam chowder as you're walking the back nine. It's just this. I can't do it. Occasionally, and in nowhere else in my life would this be an order for me ever. Except on the golf course, which is a tuna cup.
So a tuna cup is just tuna salad in a cup. It's just no carbs because you don't want to get weighed down.
Nope.
And just give me a spoon, or do you do a pinch between the cheek and gum?
No, I just have a couple,
good.
Just a little. You can add some pickles to that if that's your jalapenos if you want, or some diced tomatoes. But yeah, just a tuna cup. Now I don't do it often. But that would be if maybe I skip breakfast and I'm like, I gotta have something.
Right. That seemed like a confession to me, so I'm going to give you one too.
Okay.
I used to play the early bird back nine at Crab Meadow out in Long Island, and towards the end of the season where it was coming into winter rules. So we were out there very early in the morning. It's right on the water, so it is a little nippy all the time.
Right.
It's back when I was a single guy, or maybe freshly married. It's all a fucking blur. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm a tea drinker.
Okay.
So when everybody would go up to the starter beforehand,
Like hot tea?
yeah, hot tea.
Okay.
My mom and dad both born in Ireland. Please don't fucking judge me. You're eating tuna out of a cup, right? I will say, instead of a coffee, they used to do a beef barley soup. I used to keep that, but it was cold. It was cold in the cart, so I'd have a soup and I would sip on it, and I feel like I'm confessing to you because
no.
I don't know if our relationship could go forward if I had that kind of baggage.
Well, I appreciate you saying
Thanks.
it. I don't know about cold beef bar. Are you saying
No,
you would
it
get
was so
hot?
cold. It was so cold out
Right.
that I would actually, for the first couple of holes, when I got into the cart, I would be able to coddle it as I sipped on it. And I got to be honest with you, it was delightful, right? So this is the first thing I'm going to say to Brian. I just met him never before. Fuck you and your views on soup. Real men eat soup on the golf course.
Really?
Yeah,
Do
no,
they?
I can't. Didn't sound
Do
right
they
when I said
really?
it. It doesn't.
I mean,
no.
it like a humid East Coast day. You're gonna
No. Winter rules.
Do you have some chili today?
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm not even making a chili joke.
No,
like there's like the turkey chili.
Yes.
Oh, the turkey chili is delicious. Really? I find it
Just winter
not-
rules, end of the season.
Okay.
Think about it.
All right.
Think about it.
Yes. And
Okay.
and admittedly, where I play golf, 90+% of the time,
Right.
it is a climate that does not snow.
Right.
Right. Like Arizona, California, Nevada.
Right.
Ordering soup, you're an idiot.
I agree with you
And
100%.
I say it. Okay, we can agree on that?
In a tropical clime or a desert situation, and if you're eating soup, even at an outdoor restaurant, if you order soup in a hot thing, then I'm going to judge you. But will you give me dispensation
Yes,
on
I
the
will.
North Fork of Long Island in the winter?
What you're saying actually makes sense.
Thank you. I appreciate
it makes
that.
me feel like my views are a little simplistic and silly, and I kind of apologize
Oh, wow. I
to
got that
America about that. But usually when I make this joke, it is not.
I know.
We're not.
You didn't have
it's
somebody
not
come back at you?
freezing outside in New York City.
Yeah, maybe that's my fault. You are about to celebrate a birthday.
I am.
November
Thank you.
29th.
Yes.
And I want to be the first to say happy birthday to you.
Thank
and
you.
I also want to say that we're the same age.
Okay.
Who's
Who's older?
I also have I'm older. I'm
Okay.
1 year older. I also have a holiday birthday.
Okay.
I'm born on December 25th,
Okay.
right? Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
You're November 29th.
You and Jesus.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett, Jesus, Annie Lennox, and Ricky Martin. That's kind of sexy, isn't it? Right? That's a foursome. Well, not really. Yeah, Jesus probably, he can never lose a ball, right? That whole thing, maybe.
Yeah.
How much does it suck? Can you explain to people? Because I try to explain to people how much it sucks being born in around the holidays. And I like to talk to people about it who are in the same boat as me.
Yeah. So I will say I've never. I don't want to destroy your premise here. I apologize for this.
No,
in
not at
advance.
all.
Mine is okay. So mine's November 29th. And the reason it's okay is forever it can't be Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
Because it's the fourth Thursday. 4 times 7 is 24.
Right.
But it's usually that weekend when no one is working.
Oh,
is
you have a
off.
sweet spot, actually.
And so that week of Thanksgiving it's not bad.
Right.
It's actually not bad. So like, right. I'll be golfing with my buddies. My parents are coming in. We'll have dinner and it'll be fun.
This turned into a contentious podcast because I thought I had a brother in arms
I know.
who could complain about having, they bring out your birthday cake right after the turkey type thing.
Well,
but you're in a sweet spot. I'm fucked.
You are, and my niece is December 25th as well. So when you talk about Annie Lennox and Jesus, also
And your niece.
my niece,
Yeah. We'll
is
do a fivesome. Let me ask you about your personal life. And since it's a food podcast,
Perfect.
you big cook?
oh yeah.
Okay. You grew up in
I have
Atlanta?
2 cookbooks.
Okay. You grew up in Atlanta.
Yes.
So is it more of a Southern type thing or? I didn't know you had 2 cookbooks. I apologize.
No, please. Barbecue is like if I'm home, and again, I live in a warm weather climate, so
Right.
I'm not. Again, there's no judgment here in Northeast. I I'm probably at the grill 4 nights a week if I'm home. Like,
and your wife
making something. We'll do pastas.
So if I'm looking at you guys as a couple, are you by far the better cook out of the two?
I would never say that out loud in public, but I tend to shocking. I tend to do the what do you call it? The centerpiece. The meat but I make Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
It's me.
Soup to nuts you do. I do Christmas Day, so I've never done Thanksgiving yet.
If you anyone who comes, family, they will, maybe bring a sweet potato dish or something, but like the dressing and the turkey and the green beans and that's you. I'm doing most of it.
So outside of the holidays, let's say you had met a guy who's about your age, has a food podcast, maybe has a little bit of kung fu with what food is good and what food is not. Yeah. And I'm coming over to your house. Yeah. What are you serving me?
If you haven't come over before,
I've never been there.
Yes. Oh, yes. In this scenario, I know you haven't now. At least I hope you haven't, because I didn't see you. Exactly.
Yeah, I went through your garbage a couple times.
I make I have one very, very specific gift, which is I can make the moistest, most delicious grilled chicken breast that you will never say is dry. And I will do it in you just call it sort of an Italian marinade, and I will serve whipped garlic sauce with it, with some rice. I like to not have the rice take over, so just some like brown rice, pretty simple usually, with some broccoli and very al dente broccoli, and that would be something that you won't go to someone else's house and get. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I could make you a steak. I could make you a barbecue or like what, but this is something like specifically that I do. You may not think that I would. And that's what I would make you.
And it's one of the more difficult things not to fuck up, to be quite honest.
It is.
You. Yeah. So it's relatively impressive then. And then you add a little bit of twist with the whipped garlic, with the whipped garlic spread.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which means you're sleeping alone, but still it must be absolutely delicious.
It is delicious.
How big is your palate? Is that one of those things where you'll try anything? Because I know barbecue and steak and the chicken that we're mentioning, we're all kind of going down the middle here. How weird do you get on your travels?
I get weird adjacent. I like that. Be honest. I'm not a huge heavy spice guy. Okay. Right. So like, I found a great Thai restaurant that I went to the other night. And some of it was fantastic. I thought it was interesting and good. And some of it, I was like, I can't. It might be good. It's just not. It's not for me.
You don't have so is it the heat tolerance or is it like an overwhelming spice?
I would say heat tolerance.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when growing up, was your mom and dad good cooks?
I don't recall my dad cooking.
Ever? Not even on the grill or frying an egg in the morning? That's technically what people say. Oh, my dad only made breakfast on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. He might have put together some pancakes. I'm sorry, Dad. I don't really remember that. But I do not have like a firm embedded memory of him at a grill. I believe we had one. I know we had one. I don't remember it even being used. But I might be wrong also. Yeah.
Let's get back to the golf course because it's the podcast. We Need a Fourth. Drops weekly, correct?
Weekly and sometimes twice a week.
And wherever you get your podcasts, you'll be able to find this. I think there is nothing better than not eating on a golf course or just having something simple, like you said. Never a tuna cup, but maybe like a nice bowl of soup.
Right.
But it's the meal afterwards.
Yes.
The meal after the round to me is the most special part about golf. And if you happen to be at a place that, that you tend to hang out with that has a good restaurant there or going someplace different, that's what really seals the deal. If I don't have that on a golf day, I'd rather do 18 and a great meal with you than do 36 and go home. Are you in the same boat?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
What's the best meal that you've had on a golf course? Is there any place that has knocked your eye out?
Yes.
There's a place in Jersey called, I think, Galloping Hills.
Okay.
And for a while there, I think like 90% of their membership were Italians because of the guy who was the chef.
Okay.
They made like an al dente pasta that would knock your eye out. Everything that was good. It was almost better food than it was golf. What's some of the good meals that you've had on a golf course?
Do you? I don't know how much they like you talking about it, but have you heard about the best lunch in golf
No.
at National Golf Links?
No.
Right here, right around the corner in the Hamptons, Southampton.
What is it?
You sit down at the table the first time I ever went,
Uh-huh.
and immediately upon sitting down at the table, there is this delicious sauce and lobsters, steamed lobsters, sliced in half.
Uh-huh.
And I had heard beforehand, like the lobster lunch is unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
So I take one, eat it. And they're like, the sauce is unbelievable. Put the sauce on it. Spectacular. And everybody's talking. There's a big group and we're talking around. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go play golf. And as I said, I don't usually. And I'm like, I'm going to have another.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have another one.
Is that good?
So I grab the hail and the whole half of it. And so technically only one, but I eat it. And suddenly there's a man in a white coat, white suit with a tie behind me. It said, I'm ready to take your order. There's a super salad. There's a dish and dessert. I think that's what it is. And I'm like, oh, what am I? And it's like chicken pot pie, like some stew. I'm shepherd's pie, or like grilled chicken or a fish or a whole thing. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Right.
Pecan pie at the end or an apple crumble. Yeah. And then you go. Now there's no carts. It's walking. So you're out there and you're doing the thing. But it is by far the best lunch in golf.
We did Old Head once. You ever played?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so we decided to then go into Kinsale, and I had one of the best meals of my life.
Nice.
And the Irish they have a pretty bad rap. List of Irish cooks.
Yeah,
it's kind of a pamphlet. But I can tell you right now, that fish seems like it was just pulled out of the cold Irish Sea. We just teed off from the base of a lighthouse. Golf is more about the experience than the game for me. I don't give a shit what I score.
100%.
Yeah. The vibes are so much more important than anything else.
Yes. I just went, I did that trip. So, and that's really the only like European golf I had played, which is like southwest part of Ireland down there, that being the tip of it. I just went for the podcast. I met actually Kenny Mayne and Cooper Manning at the old course in St. Andrews for the first time. That's the first time I had met.
Really?
Either of them.
That was the intro.
In person. We did some interviews there. We played some golf. And that place, if you haven't been, because now I know you like the experience, it is, the town of St. Andrews. I cannot say enough about it. I don't know what has made me stay away as long as I have. It is absolutely spectacular. The best destination you could ever go to. Paid for by the St. Andrews City Council. No, I loved it. I loved it. The people, spectacular.
Right. I think once you kind of loop in the food with the golf and the culture and all that kind of stuff, it's the only way I can get away with playing golf on vacation. Yeah. Oh, honey, we're also going to do the meals.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Do you know about splitting the G?
Yeah. Guinness?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I've split more. I don't know how to make a funny crack on that.
Okay.
You're going to have a hard out in a sec. Your manager is giving me the stink eye. So I'm going to give you a little quick list of questions just to get to know you a little bit from a food perspective. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is as good a time as any to remind everybody that one of our sponsors is Pepsi, and I couldn't be happier because Pepsi makes food taste better. It's a flavor enhancer as far as I'm concerned. I just did a review at Nellie's in beautiful Waldwick, New Jersey. So we had these savory wings, very almost like a fish sauce umami type thing. That sweetness from the Pepsi, just, I don't know, it augmented it and made for a better experience. Same thing with the pizza that I had at Nellie's. I can't find a dish that Pepsi doesn't make better. I'm not saying I'm pouring it over my Cheerios in the morning, but it's something that is my go-to. So if you're at a restaurant, ask for it by name. If you go to a bodega, make sure you grab it out of the refrigerated whatever, or ask for them to put it in there by name, because good food deserves Pepsi, and Pepsi makes flavors pop. We appreciate the continued support. Let's get back to Kevin. What's your go-to fast food order, drunk or sober? Go-to fast food order.
Well, West Coast, it would be In-N-Out.
Second one in a row. Johnny Novo, because In-N-Out doesn't have the best reputation here, and I don't know why. I think In-N-Out is better than Five Guys, which everybody raves
Way
about
better.
here. I like In-N-Out, and so we had this guy, Johnny Novo, just does rotisserie chickens.
Okay.
His whole job is just rating rotisserie chickens. He's an LA guy, so he said In-N-Out. So a double-double,
Yeah.
animal style or anything like that?
No,
Right
I'll
down the middle.
do some onions on it.
Okay. How do you take your eggs?
Over medium.
Over medium. How do you order your pizza?
Simply.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
You have any toppings? I'm not a topping guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Simply. I mean, I'm not going to say cheese, but like maybe a sausage mushroom or, pepperoni olives. I don't care so much. Fancy ingredient. That's what I always say when guys are like, oh, what do you want to order? What do you want? I was just like, nothing fancy.
Right.
Then I'll be fine. But yeah, like putting like 6 things on, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it ruins with the structural integrity too.
I agree 100%.
I will tell you though, I was at a place called The Sink in Boulder. Had a pretty good sliced pizza, huge crust on it. They kept just regular honey on the table, squeeze bottle, Parmesan cheese and crushed red pepper. Covered it in honey, Parmesan cheese and crushed red pepper. The pizza bones, the crust afterwards. Yeah. It was an elite experience. Put that in your bag.
I'm gonna put that in my bag. I'm gonna give you one. The Jasco. Shout out Jasco. Pepperoni, jalapenos with a little honey drizzled on it.
It's nice.
You got
right?
the spicy. You got the sweet
heat.
It's beautiful.
Right. It's a warm hug. How do you order your steak?
Medium rare plus if I have a choice.
Medium rare plus is one of the most annoying fucking orders.
Sorry.
I mean, waitresses hate you.
God.
They fucking hate you with medium rare. Medium rare. I mean, they put that in there for you.
I don't usually have to say that, but
right.
I guess this is annoying. I will say, what does medium mean to you?
Okay.
Because it is different.
Right.
It is. There's no standardization.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and so then I sort of judge that, and I'm like, okay, or like, well, medium rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely hear you. You need to have a little bit. I'm going to kind of skip to the end right now if I can. What meal do you wish you can get back? Maybe from your childhood, the restaurant's not around, your taste has changed. Maybe the person who made it for you is no longer around. What meal do you wish you could get back, but you know you can't?
Oh, man.
It's a deep question.
That is
My mom made me a thermos of tea to go fishing with my dad when I was 8 years old. And I've had 2,000 cups of tea this year. I'll never be able to recreate what she put in that thermos for some reason. What's one meal you wish you can get back, but you know you can't?
All right. I got it. First time I ever saw it. I don't remember that I loved it, but my grandmother made, no one will have ever said this before.
Okay.
Fresh fried frog legs.
Oh, I love
that we had procured the night before.
Really?
Yes.
Man, I would love to be in there.
And watching the legs go.
Right.
It's cool.
That is something else. Yeah. And then it's going to be the final one because again, I'm getting a stink eye. What's your death row meal? What is he going to be put in the chair for? I think it's vehicular. No.
Well,
like I'm trying to figure. You're in death row. They're about to put you down. I think I can't figure out what the hell you did.
He hit someone with his golf cart that was eating soup.
He hit somebody who was eating soup with his golf. That's an excellent one, Ian. I'm so glad you're here. And he was so enraged by it. And it was me. I was dead on contact. Widows and orphans. You get put into the chair. What's your death row meal before you go down?
I mean, maybe it's the holidays. Maybe I'm just staying on topic, but just make me a Thanksgiving meal. And the crucial thing of this Thanksgiving meal would be the dressing, the stuffing, whatever, is cornbread.
Cornbread stuffing, cornbread dressing or whatever?
Yes.
All right, that's a perfect answer. All right, everybody, you do have to tune in. We need a fourth. It drops at least once a week, sometimes twice if they have something more to say. Catch it wherever the fuck did you catch podcasts like this one. This is Brian Baumgartner. I appreciate you carving out some time for us. I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
that was easy, right?
Love it.
Yeah, but you were judgy. I got to be honest with you. All right, we're back. Just so you know, I don't like Ian. He's a fucking jerk. By the way, you killed it. You killed it on that. So
my one sentence.
Yeah. So by the way, Kevin from The Office Kenny Mayne, Brian Baumgartner. There's a good chance if you go back through that thing, I may have called him Brian, Kevin, and Kenny at any time. That guy was a gem. He was an absolute gem. And on the way out, I just walked him to the elevator. He was like, we should do something. Like, I'm here a lot. We should definitely do something. And apparently he had a bunch of interviews today and none of them were, they all went smooth. The guy can do anything. I think he's very, very talented and he's very, very cool to talk to. But they just weren't that fun, which I love to hear. So Jesus Christ, come on back whenever the hell you want. And he shot a little video, say hello to my daughter and stuff like that. What an absolute gem. We're very lucky that we get great guests on this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Anywho.
He also mentioned someone during the podcast that I don't know if we'll get them on the pod. So check out our socials.
Oh,
he mentioned a stand-up comedian.
That's right. Yeah.
Who I guess we could say, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Sebastian Maniscalco is in the house here at Barstool today. So I just didn't schedule anything long form with him. So we're going to get him to do some social with us at the very least. And I can ask him a couple of our questions at the end so you can get to know a little bit about Sebastian Maniscalco.
So yeah, if you're not following on social and you do listen to the pod, what are you doing? Go follow us on social.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, I mean, and some people are like, I didn't have TikTok until I started to watch or listen to this podcast, which I think is ass backwards. Most people are led here by the stuff that we were doing on social beforehand. But I don't care how you get here. We're just glad to have you here. And please leave your 5-star reviews, like, subscribe, the whole deal. I got a DM last night from a young lady. Her name is Kerry. I won't give out her last name. And if I can be 100% honest with you, Ian, Kerry is a beautiful girl. So when I have people like Kerry slide into the DMs, it gets the blood flowing a little bit. I get very excited about it. But obviously, she had called up to make sure that she hit me on the DMs to make sure that I knew that there is a place in Asbury Park. The place is called Kim Marie's. Kim Marie's Eat and Drink Away. I spoke about something that I gotta try. We try to do like this, I gotta try this every now and again. And I had mentioned the Irish spice bag. Do you remember when I had mentioned this the other day? So it's a very popular drunk food in Ireland, and I just haven't seen them around. Like I speak about the Sunday roast, and then I got a Sunday roast at the Chelsea living room because I haven't had one outside of London. I'm sure you can find Sunday roast in other places, particularly here in this city. But I haven't seen an Irish spice bag. So I think I'm going to go down to Kim Marie's in Asbury Park, New Jersey, to have their Irish spice bag, which is described as Dublin's favorite late night meal. Fried chicken, fresh cut fries, sauteed peppers and onions, a spice blend served with an Irish curry sauce. So they put everything in a bag, shake it up, and they have the Irish curry sauce on the side. I will tell you, not a huge fan of curry sauces, but I'm going to try this one. I'd rather if they gave me that like sticky, sweet, neon reddish orange sweet and sour sauce. I mean, you can bathe me in that stuff and it's absolutely delicious, but I am going to go down there. So I appreciate Kerry for hitting me on the DMs to tell me about this place, Kim Marie's. I don't know when I'm going to get down to Asbury Park, but I'm going to have to make some sort of trip down there just so I can get my fill. What else do we got?
Maybe I'll get there before you with Roan.
Oh yeah. How the hell is that going?
It's going good. We're if anyone doesn't know, I also do Roan.com and we're doing each week a new neighborhood in New York City live stream exploring the neighborhood, getting a coffee, an item of food and a beer in each neighborhood. And similarly, we're doing a map, not as good as our You Gotta Try This map. Right. Because not everything on that is You Gotta Try This, but it's just everywhere that Roan's been and I have been on the streams.
And you legitimately have, I saw the wheel. The wheel has.
We've only done like 5 neighborhoods. There's still 120 left on the wheel.
That's what I was about to say. You had at least 100 neighborhoods on there.
It's going to be a 2-3 year journey.
Yeah. And he had said that when they do South Brooklyn, any of the ones like Sheepshead
Bay has to be you as a guest.
I would think that I should go to Sheepshead Bay.
Most certainly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and that's what's good about Roan. I don't even have to ask. Roan loves to get other people involved. And vice versa. having Roan on any show, I think makes the show better.
And if you guys weren't watching a couple weeks ago that we did the Mischief Day stream where Large and Roan actually had a segment where we were actually reviewing dumplings from around the world.
Right.
And I'm going to cut that segment up into a full video, and that's going to go out on our YouTube page. So make sure you subscribe.
And I will tell you, I'm not shy about eating stuff. That almost killed me. The cold fufu from West Africa. Listen, eat fufu if you want to. It's excellent. It's usually served with some sort of stew. I had it cold, and it was like just eating, spackle. So we have some fun with it. I'm dressed up as a giant baby, so it's a good time. And Roan's stuff is always a good time as well. And the more that I think about it, having a conversation with a guy like Brian is the easiest part of my job. Not that some of our other guests are like pulling teeth. So when him and his publicist had said this was so much better than some of the other stuff that they had to do today, and I'm not going to call out those people. It doesn't really matter to me. How can you screw that up, Ian? Like, how can you have a conversation with a guy who's got such a pleasant face? Like, he seems like he's always smiling. He's born the week after like Thanksgiving. It's perfect for, I don't know. He just seems like a lovable guy. I don't think people are very good at their jobs, and it's a shame. Maybe they take it way too seriously when a guy like that just wants to play golf, eat, and kind of hang out. I fucking love him. I never got to tell him the story that I wanted to share with you guys, but I had mentioned that I don't eat a lot on golf courses. I'm probably going to close on this, but I do drink a lot on golf courses, and I never keep track of how many drinks I had. I played in the member guest a couple of years in a row at Ridgewood Country Club, which is up by where I live. Frank Sheehy would take me as his guest, and I was playing in a foursome with a guy named Rich Guess, and he was drinking whatever we were drinking on the golf course. So transfusion with a lime. And then when he went to go get another transfusion, he would ask the girl, can you do me a favor? Just use this cup and just this old lime, keep it in there and add another one. And so he did that with the same cup. And then at the end of the round, he would throw out his cup and see how many limes were in there. And that's how he knew how many drinks that he had. So it was like an alcoholic Yahtzee. Like you shook up the cup and you went out, you're like, Jesus Christ, that was a 7 transfusion round. And so now that's all I do. Every time I go out, I'm like, I'm saving the cup and save that lime, but add another one. And by the time I get done with the round, you can barely fit any alcohol left in it because it looks like it's just a fucking, a thing of derelict limes.
This guy's a genius.
Absolutely a genius. So I'm giving him a shout out. Rich Guess also lives in Ridgewood. Great guy. He's one of those guys who has like a real camera as opposed to everyone using their phones. So when my kids would play football, his kids were sort of the same age. He was one of those guys that would take a picture of your kid on the field and then send it to you, and it looked professionally done. It was really fucking cool. So he was a good guy. So I do want to give him a shout out. The only other person I'm going to shout out now before I let you go, because we're good now, right? If you guys are following anyone on Instagram, and I'm going to tell you this too, there's a dude out there called Woody Shin. I'm not going to say anything more about it. He's a guy, I believe he's in Korea. And this guy has changed my life. He's simplified everything that I ever need. Look up Woody Shin. I don't know what the hell his handle is, but you're going to fall in love with him. And I'm going to talk about him next time when we're on. You got to try this. So just do that by the time that we get here. So with that, thank you again for Brian for coming in. Thank you guys for listening. 5-star reviews across the board. Like and subscribe. Send in some questions and we'll get to them. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I didn't tell Brian that this was airing after Thanksgiving, so some of the references might seem a little bit dated, and they might already be up on his podcast. So check out We Need a Fourth, and we'll see you next week on You Got to Try This.